Good morning, students. Today we are going to deal with some additional questions from the poem An Elementary School Classroom in Aslam, which is composed by Stephen Spender. In our previous lecture, we have seen the given question which was in the text book, and today we are going to deal with the some additional question. The first question is, in spite of despair and disease prevailing the lives of the slum children, they are not devoid of hope. Give an example of their hope or dream. Once again, I am repeating the question. In spite of despair and disease prevailing the lives of the slum children, they are not devoid of hope. Give an example of their hope or dream. The burden of poverty and disease crushes the bodies of these slum children, but not their souls. The burden of poverty and disease crushes the bodies of these slum children, but not their soul. They still have dreams. Even their foggy future has not crushed all their hopes. Even their foggy future has not crushed their hopes. They dream of open seas, green fields, and about the games that a squirrel plays in the tree room. Okay, once again I am repeating the answer. Of this question. As we go through the poem, we come to know that the slum children are facing the burden of poverty and disease, and these diseases and poverty has crushed their bodies, but not crushed the souls of these children. They still have dreams, they still have hopes. Even their foggy future has not crushed their hopes. As we know that their future is in darkness, in fog, but this fog has not crushed all their hopes. They dream of open seas, green fields, and about the games that a squirrel plays in the tree room. And they want to play the game just like the squirrel, as the squirrel is playing the game in the tree room. And the next question is, what is the theme of the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum? How has it been presented? If we are going to deal with the theme, so social injustice and class inequalities is the theme of the poem. Social injustice and class inequalities is the theme of the poem. But how it is presented? Then this answer will be in this way. In this poem, Stephen Spender deals with the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. He presents the theme by taking off two different and incompatible words. The first word is the word of rich people, civilized people, well-being, prosperous people, and these people are having nothing to do with the world of the slum children, who are lying in their narrow lanes and cramped holes. The gap between these worlds highlights social disparities and class inequalities. Okay, once again I am repeating the answer. The poet Stephen Spender deals with the theme of social injustice and class inequalities, and he presents here two types of word. The first word is the word of the rich people, civilized people, prosperous people, and these people are having nothing to do with the world of the slum children. The slum children are living in narrow lanes, cramped holes, and the poet has successfully expressed the gap between these two words, and he highlights the social disparities and class inequalities. And the next question is, who award the words its award and how? Who award the world its world and how? And what does and what does this world contain? And what does this world contain? Okay. The conquerors and dictators. The conquerors and the dictators change the map of the world according to their whims and will. They change the boundaries of various nations and shape the map. Their fair map is of a beautiful world full of domes, bells, flowers, rivers, capes and stars. Capes and stars. So the writer is saying that the world which is painted on the wall is a very different kind of world from the world where the students are sitting. The students are sitting in such a classroom where there is no light and they are sitting in darkness, and the pictures are of the domes, higher buildings, bells, flowers, rivers, caves, stars. So the map is expressing the good example, good life. The map is expressing about the good life, but the slum children are in a worst condition. The slum children are in a worst condition. It means to say that the writer is highlighting that the map which is created in the classroom, it was created according to the created by any dictator, and that dictator has changed the map because the map should be such as it should express the real condition, it should depict the real condition of the slum children, and it is not expressing, it is expressing to the prosperousness, to the richness. Okay. And the next question, what message does Stephen Spender convey through the poem and elementary sorry. The next question is, the poet says, and yet for these children these windows, not this map their world. Which world do these children belong to? Which world is inaccessible to them? Okay. The poet says, and yet for these children these windows, not this map. Yet for these children these windows, not this map their world, not this map their world. Which world do these children belong to? Okay. Yes, the poet is saying, the poet is saying the poet is telling, the poet is telling okay. The poet, where is the question? Yes, here is the question. The world of stinking slum is the world that belongs to these poverty-stricken, ill-fed, undernourished children. The narrow lanes and dark, cramped holes and hovels make their world. The world of domes, bells and flowers meant for the rich is inaccessible to them. They can only dream of rivers, capes and stars. They can only dream of rivers, capes and stars. Once again I am repeating the answer. The poet says, and yet for these children these windows, not this map world. And yet for these children, I am telling you everything from the poem. And yet for these children these windows, okay, these windows, the windows word is used for that window which is used in the classroom. The windows word is used for that window which is used in the classroom, and whatever they can see from the window of the classroom, that is their area. That is their area, and this map is not their world. This map is not the world of these slum children, because this map is expressing to the richness, and they are means the slum children are in a confined way, in a confined area, from where they cannot go outside. Okay, they are living in the stinking slum, and these slums belong to the children, and they are living in them, and they are poverty stricken, they are ill fed, undernourished children, they are ill fed and undernourished children. Okay, once again this question I would like to repeat. The world of stinking slums, the world of stinking slums is the world that belongs to these poverty stricken, ill fed and undernourished children. The narrow lanes and dark cramped holes and hovels make their world. The world of domes, bells and flowers meant for the rich is inaccessible to them. They can only dream of rivers, they can only dream for open places, they can only dream for stars. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. So blot their maps with the slums as big as doom. Sage Stephen Spender. What does the poet want to convey? So blot their maps with the slums as big as doom. So blot their map. So blot their maps with the slums as big as doom. As big as doom. As big as doom. Sage Stephen Spender. What does the poet want to convey? What does the poet want to convey? Okay, let us discuss about this question. The poet notices the certain of two different words. The first word is the dirty slums with their narrow lanes and cramped houses, cramped holes, which are virtual hells. Then there are islands of prosperity and beauty where the rich and powerful dwell. The poet protests against the disparity between the lives of the people in these two worlds. The poet is protesting against the disparity between the lives of the people of these two worlds. What these two worlds? The worlds I have already explained. The first world is the world of the slum children. Second world is the world of the rich people. Okay, he wants that the poor should enjoy social equality, the poor should enjoy justice. The fair map of the world should have blots of slums as big as doom. The gap must be reduced between the two worlds. The gap must be reduced between the two worlds. Next question. How far do you agree with the statement history is there whose language is the sun? How far do you agree with the statement history is there whose language is the sun? Yes, this metaphor, first of all I would like to say that the poet has used in this line the figure of speech, and that figure of speech is the metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor is an implied simile where like, so, as words are not used. Okay, now answer. This metaphor contains a vital truth. This world does not listen to the dumb and drive-in. This world does not listen to the dumb and drive-in. Dumb and drive-in people. Only those who speak with confidence, power, authority and vision are heard and obeyed. Once again, only those who speak with confidence, power and authority and vision are heard and obeyed. Those who create history are people whose ideas and language can motivate more inspire and influence millions of people In order to be effective, their language must have the warmth and power of the sun. Once again, how far do you agree with the statement history is there whose language is the sun? Okay, I have told that the poet has used metaphor, and history is always created by those persons who are having confidence, who are having the power, who are having the strength, and who are having the power to control the mob, who are having the power to control the mob. And this line is having a great importance and truth also. This world is not going to listen to those persons who are deaf and dumb, because the deaf and dumb people are driven by others. Only those people are obeyed, only those people are obeyed and heard who are having confidence, power, authority and vision. And history is always created by those persons whose ideas and language can motivate and inspire and influence millions of people. In order to be effective, their language must have the warmth and power of the sun. Their language must have warmth and the power of the sun. How does the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum portray? How does the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum portray? Describe. In the poem, the pathetic scene of the slum children is described. In the poem, the pathetic scene of slum children is described. They are undernourished and diseased. They are familiar with dark, dirty, narrow, cramped areas where they live. Their body is pale and unhealthy, and their unkempt and dull hair looks like rootless weeds. Poverty has gripped some of the girls as well as some boys. The boys have inherited the disease from their parents, and the girl is having her head down because the girl is physically and emotionally exhausted. Why the girl is physically exhausted? Because the girl is underfed. And why she is emotionally exhausted? Because she is poverty stricken. She is feeling the burden of life. Okay. Once again, I would like to repeat this question. How does the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum portray? Describe. Okay. The poem is describing the pathetic condition of the children. The children who are sitting in the classroom are undernourished, poverty stricken and diseased. They are very well acquainted with dark, dirtiness, narrow, cramped areas where these slum children are living. Their body is pale, alloys, weak, unhealthy, and their unkempt and dull hairs. Why I am saying unkempt and dull hairs? Because their hairs are not combed, so it is scattered over their faces. And these children are looking like rootless weeds. And poverty has gripped these children perfectly. Not only these children, in the poem the poet has seen that there is a girl who is having her head down, and the children are suffered from the genetic disorder, and they are diseased, and some boys are sitting unnoticed. Their future is uncertain. they are having strong desire to play outside. They are having strong desire to go outside, to enjoy outside weather. They are desiring to go to the rivers, to open place. They wants to acquire knowledge, but they are deprived of all these things. Thus, the slum children are described in a very pathetic and miserable condition. Thus, we can say that the slum children are described in a very pathetic and miserable condition.